Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the introduction to FinChat Startup Stories. I'm very excited to start this new podcast because this podcast is all about ideas. I want to talk to entrepreneurs and students and fellow thinkers all about just generating ideas and identifying problems to which we could get solutions, specifically to the youth of South Africa, because as everyone knows, we have a massive youth unemployment in South Africa, and I'd really love to have an impact on, just a small impact on turning that youth unemployment into self-employment. This morning I actually read an article which I thought was quite interesting. Let me just pull it up. Where is it now? The headline of the article is, it's on News 24. It says Africa's youth were asked about what concerns them most, and here's what SA said. And they go down and they say the survey was conducted among 4,200 young African men and women aged 18 to 24, and they found that 50% of SA's respondents felt negative about the future of the country, specifically around unemployment. 23% said that's their biggest thing. 14% said actual corruption. But then here comes a stat that actually makes me quite sad, and I think this is where I would really love to make an impact. It says here, SA was the least entrepreneurial among the countries surveyed, with less than half, 47%, of young people in the country intending to start a business in the next 5 years. The Pan-African Youth Survey, which polls young people from Congo, Ethiopia, Gabon, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, and a lot of African countries, they found that we have a really difficult entrepreneurial environment in South Africa. And I think part of it is the access to financing. I think there's a massive lack to financing. We don't have a lot of funds to invest. One of my friends who started a business recently says, yes, you have to stay with your parents and then do a job and do the side hustle and actually pay people your whole salary to just build the things that you need to build, because we don't have the skills or we don't actually have the funding to raise funding to build a business quickly. So we are going to dive deeper into how to start businesses from scratch and how to be patient and how to build business over time so that we can really change this youth unemployment in South Africa into self-employment. I actually watched quite a good podcast / video with Gary Vaynerchuk and Sam Parr from The Hustle, and they spoke about this new, or actually it's a very old concept, but it's not done enough. It's called DTC. It's direct to customer sales, and what this basically is, it's those shops. So when we in South Africa, we have Macro and we have large retailers, and we have Pick and Pay, and we have Checkers, and we have all these large retail businesses in South Africa, which almost stands as a middleman for anyone who wants to actually make their product big. In other words, they say, now you have a passion. They use the example of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. What we call in South Africa, I think, peanut butter and jam, or peanut butter and syrup. I like the syrup one. What they basically explained was, traditionally you had to build a product that people wanted. Then to make your business scale, you had to sell to a retailer, which then puts up margin and then sells it to the customers, which is us, the normal citizens of South Africa. But now they say DTC it takes time. Yes, it takes time, because you have to build a brand, you have to build an online business. And I'd really like to go deep into this. So the DTC is basically, so say now you have a passion for peanut butter and jam sandwiches. You build a brand, an online store specifically to that, and you create a customer experience, and you build a following, you build a community, and you sell directly to those customers. So it's direct to customers and businesses. And I'd really like to go deeper into things like that, we're in South Africa where we can really use the tools at our disposal to build businesses, which takes time, yes, but to get people to do things that they are passionate about. So I'll be talking to entrepreneurs and people who start projects, who do, like one of my friends did a project with some of his mates now with the World Cup where they built, or they sold antique Springbok jerseys, which I thought was flippin' cool. They got some artists and in South Africa to wear them as to marketing, etc. But I thought that's like a fantastic example of a small project that someone can do just to raise funding to do a different business, or even if that's the business, we can dive into that model and talk about the idea behind the model, how they actually got it done, how they raised funding, and how you can do it as the listener. So I'm really, really excited about this new podcast. We're going to touch topics from a wide range of things like fintech and medtech and e-commerce things like I just mentioned, and just like a wide range of things. Just a little bit more about myself. I am Joshua Prins. I'm one of the FinChat co-founders. So FinChat was initially founded specifically to expose the youth of South Africa to finance, because there's a massive lack of access to digestible finance information. I mean, if you go read things in the news, or you try to teach yourself something over the internet to invest or understand the markets, they use all this lingo, which is incredibly difficult to understand. And plus, it's so much effort to go study it. So we thought we can build something that can make it easier for people to learn, easier digestible, then to create a community around that, so that people can talk to each other, learn from each other, discuss different viewpoints, etc. But then we dove. I thought I was going to take on the StartupStories project because, specifically from that article that I read this morning, I think it sums it up quite well. That there isn't really a drive in South Africa to build new businesses, and our entrepreneurial environment is incredibly tough, and it's so difficult to start businesses. And I thought if I can just help people and talk to entrepreneurs who have done it, to inspire us and to give us some ideas and things that we can use in our own businesses to grow and etc. And even just to inspire us to maybe keep on at it a little longer, because I think like most businesses take like 5 to 6 years before they take off. But we are okay to be in a job for 20 years. So, I mean, if we can just dive deep into that, I think it will be really, really interesting. Just to get back to myself, I studied accounting at University of Pretoria. I'm busy with my postgraduate in accounting. I'm going to do my articles at Investec next year. Very excited for that. To get back deep into the banking and finance, which is something that I'm really passionate about. I think that is me. I really love sport. I swam at school. So yeah, that's all about Choist. Then some very, very exciting updates coming from FinChat. So I don't know if you guys saw, but recently we started a newsletter where you can subscribe, and we're getting like entrepreneurs and industry professionals to write articles that we can put into this newsletter for you to read. So we would really want to create really, really nice, interesting, inspirational content that you get directly into your inbox. So make sure to go subscribe for that. Then also regarding the startup stories, what I really want to put into that newsletter is just stories about student projects and small projects that people do, side hustles that people start, and just diving deep into what those people did. So on the podcast, we'll probably just speak to big entrepreneurs who've made it big, getting to just talking about how they made their business big, etc. But in the startup stories, that's where I really want to get some exposure for you guys. So if you have a project or small business that you started, or even have the idea of starting a certain business, please go. So what you do is you go to our Instagram. It's at FinChatGo on Instagram. So FinChatCo, FinChatGo. Then you go on that link. It says Linktree. Linktree is fantastic also. So you go on that Linktree, you go on the newsletter, and then you can sign up there. If you have a story to share, you scroll down a bit, and you'll see there a banner that says coming soon, FinChat Startup Stories. And then there's like a button you can click to go share your story. Please click on that link and go type your short project. If you can, I don't know if we have that functionality, but upload a picture. I'd love to put that in our newsletter. Actually build some exposure for your business, market your business a bit, and also inspire people. I mean, what you're doing is really exceptional, especially in the environment that we're in South Africa. And I'd really like to use that to inspire other students. So feel free to do that, please. Then also, as you guys know, we're on LinkedIn, we on Twitter, we on Instagram. Instagram, we're going to make it new a bit. We're going to dive deeper into better design, bring some more, make it even more digestible for you to learn about finance, etc. And yeah, so please give us your support, share whatever you can, and yeah, please give us your feedback. So even if on that newsletter site that you can go on, if you go on Linktree, there's like a button you can click that says contact us. Please send us an email or message just telling us like what you love, what you'd like to hear from the podcast, especially for the startup stories things. I would be so excited if you guys tell me what to do, and I can tell your story. So please get involved. I think we should really be a community in this, and build this thing together. So really looking forward to everyone's input. Have a really nice day. All the best. Cheers.